Welcome to this deep dive into the recent wave of mystery refund checks tied to bank fees. In this video, we will uncover why you might receive an unsolicited refund, what it means, how to verify it safely, and how to protect yourself going forward. Let's begin by setting the stage, and then move step by step through what's happening and what to do. Here's our roadmap for the video. First, we'll cover the story and what's actually happening behind the scenes. Next, we'll discuss who's affected and why. Then, we'll use diagrams and timelines to visualize the process. After that, we'll walk through a concrete action plan and clarify overdraft opt-in versus opt-out. We'll also cover how to spot red flags and distinguish scams from legitimate refunds. Finally, we'll test your knowledge with short quizzes and wrap up with key takeaways. The breaking story is straightforward. Many large financial institutions are mailing out refund checks to consumers. These refunds often cover multiple years of fees and are generally driven by regulators requiring banks to compensate customers for illegal or improperly disclosed charges. In particular, the focus is on surprise overdraft fees and gaps in opt-in confirmation processes for ATM and everyday debit transactions. With that context, let's unpack how this works behind the scenes. Regulators have identified patterns of unlawful or improperly disclosed fees at certain institutions. As part of enforcement or supervisory actions, regulators require banks to create remediation programs. Those programs use internal systems to identify impacted accounts across historical periods. Banks then issue refunds either as mailed checks or as credits to active accounts. The most common category in focus includes surprise overdraft fees associated with ATM withdrawals and everyday debit transactions, and situations where a timely opt-in confirmation was not provided. Importantly, customers may receive refunds even without having filed a complaint. Now let's clarify who is most likely affected. Those most likely to be affected include customers who were charged surprise overdraft fees on ATM withdrawals or everyday debit card transactions, especially during periods when the bank failed to provide a timely opt-in confirmation. Long-standing customers who paid recurring fees without adequate disclosures are also common candidates for remediation. Even if you moved banks or closed the account, you might still be identified and issued a refund as part of a remediation cohort. Next, we'll visualize the timeline of how this unfolds, from initial fees to final refunds. This timeline illustrates the multi-year path, from the charging of surprise overdraft fees, through the period of regulatory reviews and consent orders, to the implementation of remediation programs, and finally the issuance of refunds. The key customer action point appears at the end. Verify the legitimacy of any unsolicited check before depositing it. Now that we see the high-level flow over time, let's break down your next steps in a practical checklist. Here is a clear action plan. First, verify any unsolicited check by calling your bank using the official phone number on its website, not the number printed on the letter or check. Next, confirm the details of the refund, including the specific fees and dates being reimbursed. Then review your current account to understand your overdraft coverage settings and fee schedule. Document all correspondence and calls. Only deposit the check after you confirm it's legitimate. Alternatively, request that the bank apply a direct account credit. Continue monitoring for additional credits, statements, or updated disclosures. Finally, if you encounter inconsistencies, escalate through your bank's complaint channels or a regulator. This pie chart provides an illustrative mix of the fee categories often implicated in remediation programs. The largest slice tends to be surprise overdraft fees tied to everyday debit or ATM transactions. A smaller but still significant portion may relate to representment or NSF practices, depending on the institution. The remainder covers other improperly disclosed or poorly timed fees. Note that the exact distribution will vary by bank and enforcement action. Next, let's clarify overdraft opt-in versus opt-out because it's central to understanding why these refunds happen. On the left, opt-in means you allow the bank to cover everyday debit and ATM transactions even if the account lacks funds. This can permit transactions to proceed, but usually results in overdraft fees when the bank covers them. On the right, opt-out means those transactions are typically declined if funds are insufficient, which helps avoid overdraft fees on everyday debit and ATM activity. Note that opting out does not eliminate all other possible fees, and customers can usually change their settings later. Understanding your status is essential when reviewing past charges and new disclosures. Use this table as your quick reference checklist. Confirm the official phone number from the bank's website. Clarify refund details, including fee types, periods, and totals. Verify your overdraft setting and effective dates. Review the bank's current fee schedule to understand what may apply going forward. Scan your statement history for patterns of fees and recent credits. Lastly, watch for suspicious indicators such as typos, threats, or name mismatches. Quiz time. The question is, if you receive an unsolicited refund check in the mail, what should you do first? Option A. Call the bank using the number printed on the check. Option B. Deposit it immediately to avoid expiration. Option C. Call your bank using the official number on its website. Option D. Post a photo of the check on social media for advice. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to call your bank using the official number listed on its website. This ensures you're reaching the legitimate institution rather than a scammer's number printed on the letter or check. To distinguish a legitimate refund from a scam, verify the sender details and confirm they match the bank's official information. Assess the physical quality of the check, including security paper and printing. Be wary of letters that use threats, urgency, typos, or strange phrasing. Always initiate contact through official channels, such as the bank's website or app. If you remain uncertain, request an account credit rather than cashing a mailed check. Here's the second quiz question. What does opting in to overdraft coverage for everyday debit and ATM transactions generally mean? Option A. Transactions will be declined and no overdraft fees charged. Option B. The bank may cover transactions and charge overdraft fees. Option C. All fees are waived for debit and ATM transactions. Option D. You must maintain a minimum balance to avoid coverage. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is that opting in allows the bank to cover everyday debit and ATM transactions even if funds are insufficient, and the bank typically charges an overdraft fee when it does so. Disclaimer. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial, legal, or tax advice. Policies and remediation processes can vary by bank and jurisdiction. Always verify information directly with your bank and consult a qualified professional for advice tailored to your circumstances. Now, let's cement what we learned with concise key takeaways. These are the key points to remember. First, unsolicited checks could be legitimate refunds stemming from regulatory actions. Second, always verify using the official phone number from the bank's website. Third, understand your overdraft status, because opt-in versus opt-out significantly affects potential fees. Fourth, keep thorough documentation and continue to monitor your statements. Finally, if you have doubts, ask for a direct account credit instead of cashing a check. To wrap up, many mystery refund checks are the result of remediation for fee practices that regulators found unlawful or improperly disclosed. Your safest first step is verifying any check through official channels. Understanding your overdraft coverage empowers you to prevent future surprises. Keep documentation organized, remain vigilant, and keep learning. Finally, let's close with a quick call to action. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. Share your experiences or questions about refund checks in the comments so others can learn from them as well. See you in the next video.